What's going on, everybody? This is James Grandmaster Facts Boyce, and you're here for another Facts Project review. Today, we are going to be covering Sleep, Issue 2 for Image Comics, of course, written and artwork done by Zander. Now, if you've been paying attention, and of course, you followed the Facts Project, our podcast, we did an entire episode, hour-long episode, to where we had a chance to talk about Sleep, Issue 1. The Easter eggs in it, the cryptic messaging that's pretty much in it. For those of you that have not had a chance to read this book or have yet to basically look through issue 1, it is a grayscale black and white issue series to where there's one other singular color that's drawn throughout this entire series, and it is the color red. And the color red, being how it circulates through every single page, causes us to be very big conspiracy theorists about what exactly is happening to the main character and the protagonist of this book, Jonathan. And to jump right into issue 2, disaster is unfolded right from the first page. So Jonathan has a little bit of a problem. It seems as of recent that when he goes to sleep, something awakens inside of him and turns him into this vicious beast that is probably sending turmoil throughout the entire neighborhood where he's at. He lives in a small town. He's introverted, works at a coffee shop, probably as polite as can be. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he has no idea what's happening. He doesn't know how this came to be. He lives alone. His parents have recently passed away, so he has this big house all to himself with him and his cat, which unfortunately met his demise in issue 1. But to get right into issue 2, when I tell you that disaster is unfolded from this first page, it goes right into Jonathan at a crash scene on a highway, or better yet, maybe just like a cliff, and stripped down. All you can see is just him in his boxers, and there's a car that's basically it looks like it crashed into him, and it turns out to be the Pastor Stephen, that was in the first issue, ultimately completely unconscious, but still seemed to be a little bit of life left in this man. Jonathan has no idea what's going on. He's panicking. He has no idea where to turn, and he does check on Pastor Stephen to see if he's actually alive. And he's like he's going through a state of shock, to where, in the instance where he's thinking to himself, what do I do? He just realizes the time, because he sees a clock in the middle of the square and is like, I gotta get to work. So the way to kind of throw everybody off as to what exactly just happened is for him to just head right to work at the coffee shop. He cleans up, gets ready, and then all the people that are pretty much working at this crime scene, whether it's like construction workers or anything like that, or better yet, even the unsuspecting chief of police that just so happens to pop up on him while he is doing his rounds at this coffee shop, draws him into, for one, let's just say this: he's not knowledgeable of what's coming over him when he goes to sleep, what the beast is, what it's all about. So to see the chief of police, who he's probably known all of his life, walk in, yeah, there's a little bit of panic there. But still, even if the chief understood exactly what was happening, he wouldn't know, because I don't think that this beast or whatever comes over Jonathan looks like him at all. He pretty much transforms, probably, and once again, this is my conspiracy theory hat going off, he transforms into this grotesque looking beast that pretty much ravishes this entire town. And all the while, in the midst of this conversational panic that he's having with the chief of police that just so happened to stop by the coffee shop after the crime scene that just been created, in between, after this conversation, to where he understands, it's like, what do I do? He's trying to call Tabitha, his good friend who we met in issue 1, and she's not picking up. All the while, more panic ensues, because he's thinking that this monster has pretty much consumed her, almost in the same effect of what happened to his cat in the first issue. He's not too clear about what's happening because she's not picking up. the chief of police pretty much told him, because his glasses, another red cryptic item that just so happens to be riddled throughout this book, everybody that seems to be wearing eyeglasses has these particular red frames. The chief of police said, go to Edison's Optical and he'll take care of your glasses. To where the guy that runs the shop is just like cleaning up glass, because this is Jonathan's doing. This is a small town. The broken glass that's basically happening to his shop is probably Jonathan's doing. The thing that just happened to Pastor Stephen is also Jonathan's doing. But everybody seems not too panicked about what's happening here. Maybe it's a small town thing. I don't know. But at the end of the day, he gets his glasses fixed and he still wants to try to contact Tabby. So he goes home, but his home is annihilated. And he finally gets in touch with her. It turns out that her and Hip, his friend Hip and Tabby have been getting particularly a little bit close. But at the end of the day, he sees exactly what's happening. He finds a rope inside of like a little, I'm going to say a chest locker, and is figuring to himself, I got to like tie myself to something in here so I don't get loose. And then he finds the police outside of his house, to where he's saying, I'm unarmed, nothing's happening here. But it's the old man from the town square from the first issue who was painting those like little like cryptic messaging with the red paint, which is the only thing you see in this color. The policeman says that it's black paint, but the guy painting it says that it's red paint. All in all, Jonathan, in a last desperational act, decides, okay, the best way for me to not get found out is to maybe get myself locked up. So he's saying to the cop, you got to take me with you. And he was like, what? He was like, get out of here. It was like, I'm taking this dude in for destruction of property. He puts him in the back of the squad car. Jonathan then reacts to punch the cop. The cop then gives him one to the stomach. And then he's like, okay, you can go to jail too. So Jonathan gets his wish. He's sitting in the car with the guy, and he's asking him why he did that, because he wrote the word punishment on his house. And he's like, I'm only being told what was asked for me to do. Everything's so cryptic. So I'm always coming up with more questions to this. And I asked Zander about this, and he was like, I want to make the beast as frightening as possible by the things that are happening around the town, rather than revealing what the beast would look like. I feel like that reveal, that surprise alone, will take away from the suspense. And I feel like Zander is like covering all bases by doing that. It turns out, because when they're in this police station, of course they're now being locked up. The cops want to lock them both up in the same cell. Jonathan's fighting his way out. He's like, don't put me in the same cell with him, because he's figuring to himself, if I change, I'm probably going to kill this guy. He gets his wish. He gets put in jail. This has all happened in the matter of 2 days. The first issue was a Sunday. This second issue was a Monday. So I'm not sure. And like I said, we've all had these theories. And the thing is, if you read these books, in the back, all the way at the end of the series, there's always these liner notes about all the conspiracy theories that Zander has pretty much gotten to his email. And he actually puts his email in the back of the book, so you can reach out to him and try to figure out exactly what the theory is. So look for more of this, especially going into like issue 3, because I feel like even though a lot more has been revealed, we still don't know where we're at. And I'm sure with this being like a 6-issue series, that it's not a slow trickle at all. Like, things now are happening a little bit more rapidly, but yet you still don't know what's happening. You don't know how this occurred to Jonathan. I mean, you know that he's just this lonely guy and things are just happening to him more rapidly, but all in all, you don't know how the beast arrived. You don't know why this is happening to him. You're not understanding the red paint that could be black paint, that could be God knows whatever throughout the entire book. But I look forward to more, and I can't wait for issue 3. So for those of you that had a chance to, of course, watch or listen to the podcast with Zander Cannon, please feel free to go back and do so. I myself, James Grandmaster Facts Boys, thank everybody for joining in for us today. Honestly, everybody's probably at Heroes Con. I think Zander Cannon is actually at Heroes Con. So for everybody out there, happy shopping, happy collecting, happy seeing your favorite creators, and we will see you next time on the channel.